In today's video, we're going to talk about reviewing the Ooler by ChiliPad. All right, guys, welcome back to Entrepreneur Hour Podcast and Entrepreneur Hour TV, where we create superhuman entrepreneurs. In today's video, I'm going to talk about my review of the Ooler. I heard a lot about this new product by ChiliPad, and if you know anything about biohacking or hitting peak performance, you know that sleep is, you can do everything else. If you don't get the sleep part, you're really wasting your time. So I wanted to go ahead and talk to you about my experience with it. We've upgraded our mattress. I use a puffy mattress, which we're going to talk about in another episode, another video. But the Ooler was like something we added to the mix to maintain an ideal temperature. You want to sleep between about 65 to 68 degrees is ideal for sleep. And if you look back in the context of history, right, looking at our ancestral history, about 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning, temperatures were at their lowest. The problem is that's not how we sleep today. So we, by contrast, get all bundled up and we're warm, we're hot, and so that might cause you to wake up infrequently throughout the night. So something like the Ooler actually keeps your temperature what it should be, and I think you're gonna find a cost savings play with it as well, because now instead of turning down your AC and keeping it at 65 and doing your whole house, you can keep the actual temperature inside your bed under the covers at a certain temperature. So if you sleep hot, you're gonna love this thing. If not, probably, and you're looking for just as a health play, it might help you as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the unit itself, and I'm gonna catch you guys on the flip side so I can talk to you a little bit more about what I've experienced as far as the positive results of using the Ooler. All right, so let's go ahead and check out the unit itself. One of the things that I don't like is when you walk into the room, you've got a little bit of leeway in terms of where you position the unit itself, but as you can see, we have it kind of just pushed in the corner next to our nightstand on either side of the bed. And it's just kind of ugly, right? Aesthetically, it just kind of looks like it belongs in a hospital or something. Now, I will say it's an upgrade over what the ChiliPad was because it was like a block unit. So this is a little bit more aerodynamic, if you will, and it sits a little bit lower, but it's still not low enough to put underneath the nightstand or ideally underneath the bed itself. So I don't like that. As far as the actual buttons on it, it's pretty simple. You've got 3 buttons. You've got a power button, and then you've got your reduce the temperature, lower the temperature, or increase the temperature, and that's it. You're probably never gonna use those because you're gonna use the app, and I'm gonna show you in a minute. That's one of the winning features of this unit itself. And then in the back, you've got a little nozzle that kind of opens up here, a little lid, where you actually replenish the water source. Maybe about once a month is what I found, but it's nothing major, nothing substantial. Now, let's talk about some of the positives of this thing. This is self-cleansing. It uses UV light to actually clean itself, which is amazing. The ChiliPad didn't do that. You had to manually clean. I've never cleaned it, so I don't know what it entails, but it sounds gross and I don't want to do it. So that's a winning feature of this particular device that I really, really, really like. As far as the mechanism that goes to your bed itself, you've got a little hose here. And it's like a little double, it's about the size of a garden hose, maybe a little bit smaller, but it's 2 different hoses that basically run behind the nightstand and then into the unit itself, the mattress pad itself on the bed. They're kind of big. It does give you a lot of slack, so you could extend this thing out a little bit further if you wanted to, but it did mean that I had to pull the nightstand out a little bit further away from my actual bed, or from the actual wall, I should say, that you could run that hose back there. And then I'm always kind of concerned about crimping it in the bed itself. So that's the unit. I'm gonna show you now what the actual mattress pad looks like and the pros and cons of that. Okay, so as you'll see here, this topper, it just kind of straps on each end of the corner of your mattress. And then you'll see, as I mentioned before, the hose comes in the top here. I've never actually felt it when I was sleeping. Sometimes my hand will kind of move around the headboard here and I will notice it. I think one of the bigger issues that I found is you can tell this bed is elevated right now because we have one of those mechanized platform beds where you can put it up, put it down. And sometimes what I found is that these elastic straps, you see how easy it just came off, right? It just pops right off. And so sometimes I'll wake up and it's, I'm basically on bare mattress, right? So that's not major positive. And then I don't know if you can see it, but basically the way that it works is when the water comes in, the cooled water comes in from the Ooler unit itself, it has these little tubes, little tiny tubes that they're really no bigger than I don't know, the little oxygen things you get when you, like somebody's in the hospital kind of thing that goes into your nose. They're kind of that size, but they run about every 5 inches across the face of the actual topper itself. And that's what cools the interior of your bed itself. Here's the negative. When you do that, we feel them. My wife feels it more than I do. She definitely notices it more than what I notice it, but you just kind of feel, I don't know, like you're shooting yourself in the foot, because here you bought this upgraded, amazing mattress, and you're not getting the full benefit of it because you're putting a topper on it that has something that's really not all that comfortable. So those are only the kind of negatives that I see. It's a very thin topper. There's not much to it. But you will feel those tubes. You do get used to them. I know you can't see it through here, but you do kind of get used to it, but it's something you're gonna have to get used to, and you're definitely gonna notice for a period of time for sure. All right, so let's check out the app, because honestly, this is, to me, is like the reason why you buy an Ooler, at least over a ChiliPad, right? This is a huge winning feature that at least has been majorly beneficial for us. Now, if you're a Batman fan, you're gonna get my Victor Freeze reference there, by the way.
The Iceman cometh.
So the cool thing is that you just literally do that and it turns on. The benefit is, and I know you're gonna be able to hear it, so you have 3 different options. You have a silent option, you have a regular option, and then you have a boost option. And the boost option, you definitely hear it. I would say it's similar to that of a regular fan. Maybe on like low to mid range is about how loud it is. Regular, obviously a little bit less than that. Silent, probably not gonna notice it at all. I've personally found that it's kind of a soothing sound, so it doesn't bother me. I'm able to actually kind of sleep a little bit better. If there's any outside noise, it kind of is drowned out because of the unit itself. So I haven't found it to be too distracting. Now, as far as changing the temperature, it's simple to just slide it along and drag it, right? You can go all the way up to I think it's 115, or you can go as low as 55. So you get a lot of range with this thing. You know, if you live in Alaska, here you go. If you live in the jungle, you go to 55. And then you can also use this mechanism where it's the up-down arrows here. That's pretty simple. Okay, let's talk about the scheduling, because this is a really cool feature as well. Basically, you can set whatever days you want. I had mine listed as weekday. I actually have it as 7 days a week. So it pops on at 9 p.m., turns off at 8 a.m. So every single day, I don't have to worry about it, turn it off, whatever. But also too, I usually get in bed by about 10:30. It's already been running for about an hour at that point, hour and a half. So when I get into bed, it's actually already cooled to that temperature, which is really, really, really awesome. And you can set up different intervals and different schedules that you want to have. You can have a weekend one that's different than the weekday. So that's really, really awesome. And then as far as the general settings, I don't really use any of these things. You can change passwords, there is support and stuff like that. I've never used any of these. You can go to Celsius if you'd like. Obviously, being in the States, we use Fahrenheit here. So that's basically it. It's a very, very simple device, very, very, in terms of the app. But the good thing is, if you do have a spouse or significant other, each side has its own controlling mechanism. So your husband or wife may want it cooler or hotter, and they can adjust their side in particular. If you buy the larger unit, they get their own device in their own app, and so they can adjust things according to what they actually prefer and what's best for their specific sleep patterns. Okay guys, so I'm glad you got a chance to check out the Ooler, look at the app, and kind of get an idea of what it looks like, what it involves, and so on and so forth. But I want to talk to you about a couple of the results positively that I've seen from using the Ooler. So I will say this, and I don't mean to boo-boo, I think it's a great product. So if you're looking for this, like, you get in and it's almost like you're at one of those theme parks where the mist is coming at you and you're like immediately refreshed, that's not what you're gonna experience with the Ooler. At times you feel it to the touch and it maybe feels a little bit cooler, but it's not overwhelming, right? So when I really notices it is in the morning at 3 o'clock in the morning. If I wake up, I'm like, ooh, I'm cold. And you kind of feel it to the touch on whatever side you're laying on. So I know that scientifically it's working, but it's not this like, it doesn't feel like you have a fan underneath your bed, underneath your covers, right? So if that's what you're expecting, if you're a really hot sleeper, you're probably still gonna need a fan too, even if you crank it all the way down to 65 degrees on the Ooler itself, which is as low as it goes. I just don't think you're gonna really see massive, massive benefit from it. If I were judging on that alone, I would say that it wasn't worth the $1,300 or whatever we spent for it. I think I don't know. eyeball test and field test wouldn't really work out. But I will tell you this, the science of it and my results, I wear all these biometric tools. I wear a BioStrap and a Garmin VivoSmart 4. And one of the things that I've experienced is that I'm not waking up throughout the night. I don't have multiple awakenings throughout the night, which is huge. And a lot of people are waking up and they're having cortisol spikes and stuff like that because my temperature is regulated, right? Way more than it would be if I didn't have the Ooler itself. But also one of the things I'm realizing is that my recovery is much faster when I use the Ooler versus when I don't. So I was waking up about 4:30 in the morning and showing 100% recovery on my VivoSmart, whereas normally I would have to sleep till like 7 or 8 to get a full 100% recovery from the night before. So I am seeing far greater sleep efficiency. Now there's other things that are involved with that, like my nutrition, things I eat before I go to bed, whatever, like all those things, the stress I had the day before, all those things definitely play a role in it. But if you're looking at it just strictly by the numbers, pre and post Ooler, I can certainly tell you that I have seen an improvement overall in it. So here's the deal. I would say most important is a better mattress. We have definitely experienced massive improvement. The Ooler is kind of a cherry on top. If you can afford it, great. If you sleep hot, you probably need it. And if you really don't get quality sleep or you're seeing a lot of awakenings throughout the night, it might be because of temperature regulation. So I would first start tracking your sleep with a VivoSmart or with the BioStrap, see where you are, maybe try the 100-day. They give you 100 nights of trying it out. See if it does improve. If you have your data tell you that it helps you, then you maybe can justify the price. That's the beautiful thing about these sleep tools, mattresses, Oolers, you get to try it out. So I would take advantage of that 100%. I'm gonna drop the link to that below. I am not an affiliate at all, so I don't get a commission for that. I'm just telling you my experience with it. Hope this was helpful. Hope you guys liked it. More product reviews like this coming your way. We talk about peak performance and we talk about becoming the best version of yourself. I tell people this, but in order to do more, you must first be more. Getting adequate sleep and hacking your sleep, being an optimal peak performer starts with the night before, not the morning of. Very, very, very important. All right, if you guys like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Share this video with a friend, hit the bell for notifications. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast. There's Entrepreneur Hour TV and Entrepreneur Hour Podcast. Make sure you are subscribed to both. Join my email list so you get notifications when we have new episodes that go live and new content. Make sure to grab my unstuckquiz.com below. It's my Unstuck Quiz, help you figure out why you're stuck, what's causing you to feel stuck. All of those links are included below. See you guys in the next one.